Alright, let us continue with Section 3. Section 3, Suspicious Shadow. What a crazy battle. If you guys keep fighting like that, won't you die?
Battle? No, we were just protecting ourselves.
Eh? Why? I mean, why did you fight with those people from earlier? No, the one who attacked was them. Aren't you gonna bear a grudge with each other? Excuse me, allow me to interrupt. Have you ever seen an automaton before? What's that? I got scared thinking that I had killed it, but blood didn't come out even if I broke its limbs off. Is it a scarecrow? It's a pretty fancy construction. It's pretty disturbing. Come on, it was walking. Is there even a scarecrow that could join a fight? You got that right. Mr. Gouda, let's talk in the shadow border. What do you think about the reaction the villagers had? There's no tension. They weren't nervous at all. They're just way too relaxed. Yes. It's as if there was no sense of danger. Their reactions when we appeared and trampled upon their fields were much more emotional. In addition, they know that it was none of their business when we fought with Akta Hinako and her servant. But those automata... This is not technology from the human world brought by a cryptor. This is definitely an unknown technology to us. There's no doubt Akta Hinako's supplements were from that rocket fired out of Zhanyang. Although, it's weird, because the Furigari just calls it Kanyo, but I guess that's the Japanese name for it. I had both names for the longest time. This automata is likely a type of weapon for this world. But these residents, like these villages, say they've never seen them before. So, what do you mean? Are you saying that they are just especially ignorant? Oh? Oh? As with previous Lostbelt, Akta is certainly in an alliance with the ruler of this world. Well, it's still early to say that, but let's assume it's Shi Huangdi, the first emperor. These automata were sent as helpers. It stands to reason. Any deduction up to here should be obvious. Therefore, upon fighting with these automata, it would be right to say that they should have been considerably wary of us, as rebels against the administration. However, that reaction that we just saw... I believe that for those villages, people don't even know the general situation or the feeling of war. Or even the existence of tools like war arms. Such a thing is unbeknownst to them. That is my current hypothesis.
Oh, no. Is what you said even possible?
Yes. We clearly showed them a violent side of humanity, and this is the answer that we got. I'm not saying that this world has no threats, but... Is there something noisy outside?
It's a monster! Another monster showed up!
Eh? Hold on. Isn't it your job to drive that thing away?
I don't know if I could beat that thing with a stick. Please, travelers, lend us a hand.
Humu, we should definitely help out here.
Yes. Mesh Light. Intercepting.
Oh, foe!
This is where Lostbelt 2 enemies show up. From Scandinavia.
It seems to be another enemy not of this land. Yes, that was one of the Jotun giants that we encountered in the Scandinavian Lostbelt. It's another living thing from another creature from a different Lostbelt.
It keeps getting weirder.
And some of them ran away, too. There's gotta be a nest somewhere. A nest? Yeah, we should find it and destroy it before it gets worse. There's obviously no defense in these towns.
Wow, you guys are really amazing to take on such a big monster.
Protecting the weak and becoming a shield is nothing but a pleasure for me.
It's not pronounced Jotun, it probably is pronounced Jotun. Look, I don't live in Scandinavia, so let's pronounce everything as non-Scandinavian as possible, shall we? Yes, good. Yeah, we should just hide. The heavenly child's majesty will get rid of it. Or the son of heaven's majesty will get rid of it. Humu, do you not have any equipment as a protector of the village? Well, we don't really get the chance to do anything usually. We just beat up monkeys or stray dogs that come to town every so often. Other than that, we really just calm down the drunks. How about invasions from foreign countries? Foreign countries? What's that? Ah, that's where gaijin come from. It's a place that's not here. I heard it from the elder. I'm sorry, it's a place that's not here. I heard it from the elder. And the elder had heard it when he was a kid. Sorry, chat. Sometimes I miss where my place is on the reading. Oh, there we go. No, wait just one moment. Could you please describe to me what a gaijin is in your terms? A foreigner. Even if you ask that... I heard they look just like us, but hairier than monkeys. Rather than stealing our farm produce, they would drag your bodies away.
That's why when you guys arrived, I thought we'd be eaten or something. Sorry about that.
I see. I understand now. This Lostbelt has no other nations. Anything else would be like a legend from the past.
So this new world has been completely stabilized? No way! There's no government that could actually unify the country like that, is there? That's why there are no wars or weapons anywhere.
Even the very concept of war for these people. It's so peaceful that they don't even know what weapons of war are. This is an ideal, peacefully governed world. Truly the ideal world for governance. Damn, chat. All right. The captain of the guard.
We've arrived at Li Shan. Shall we unseal them?
Moo. Since this is a foreign campaign, I would not mind having a few of those that would freely go about as they wish, but so long as this is a suppression within, it'd be troubling to have the overly rash ones.
So, judging not solely based on their martial prowess.
Furthermore, they shouldn't cause any violent outbreaks upon awakening. I reject having those like the Tao Yuan brothers. We cannot have them getting carried away in an attempt to usurp the country. Defending demons of the country that can sympathize with the plight of the people. With loyalty more resolute than iron. I would like brave commanders with such care and consideration. And so, I shall leave the selection to you.
Huh? You would leave such an important task to me?
For what purpose did I send you, the captain of the guard, to Li Shan? Think about it. You are aware of possible danger arising with the awakening of the cryo-sleeping heroes, yes?
That is, well... Aha! That is true.
When they realize that there is suddenly an irregularity in their usual lives, they might actually panic. They may turn out just like the revolutionaries. I need you to be the one to unseal them and try to bring them to our side. Do you understand?
So, what you're saying is, if anything bad happens, I'll be the one to take care of everything.
Military power to confront the heroic spirits is essential. However, it's necessary to awaken the strongest ones that can be dealt with by the fists of the royal captain of the guard, even if it's dangerous. Pick from a group of the strong ones that can be dealt with your fists, even if there was a mistake. So there. It makes you want to handpick them, right?
Ha! I am extremely pleased with your benevolence.
Back to Koyanskaya.
Such a trump card you have there. Frozen warriors.
They are the treasure of my Qin Empire. The royal tomb of the Emperor's warriors to rest in.
After establishing this peaceful world, it was essential to make the prideful fools stop boasting of their power, wasn't it? If you were a short-minded king, then you would purge them all at once. But, as expected of your majesty, you've managed to freeze all of your men just for the next battle.
Their honor, which had built up the foundations of peace, should be praised eternally. That said, we cannot have them all be immortal as I am. Even if there's no way to prevent them from being confused upon each reawakening in different eras. Well, it's the same as usual for them. They are used to traversing time to enter a new battlefield. What do you think? This is a far more skillful method than the system of heroic spirits in your side of history, no?
Hey, it's making me all excited. Cryo-freezing has a really nice ring to it.
I love Koyonskaya's super sadistic expressions. They're so good. Moving on to Section 4. Section 4, Monsters from a Foreign Land. Is there anywhere around here that's cold? Correct. These creatures that attacked the village most likely went to a colder area. And most likely have made their nest somewhere around there. Even if you say around the vicinity.
That'd be outside of the border fence, right? We've never been there before. Wait, none of you leave the village. You haven't even once. Or not even one, I mean, sorry.
Well, see, it's forbidden by law.
That's right. The Son of Heaven has issued an edict banning any changes of residing as you please, right? Any change of residence as you please, right?
Well, a long time ago, there were about 10 people who came here after their village suffered severe floods. Even then, the Son of Heaven decided the destination for each and every refugee, so it's not like you can just live anywhere freely. We thought you would come here in that manner, though.
We thought you had come here in that manner, though.
How can this be? This is but a cage which looks like a village. Such incorrigible oppression. I'm so angry I could dance.
Well, but even if we were to leave the village, where would we go?
That's right. Everything we need to live is in the village. Why would we have to go out of our way to travel to some place we don't know? Are you really okay with that?
It's not really a matter of being okay with it or not. It's more like we've never ever even thought of leaving before this.
I suppose that's what happens when a fully satisfied life continues in one place.
Nay. One-chan, do you have a moment? What is it? That. Can we go over there and talk?
What's the matter?
You see, keep this a secret from the adults, but I know where there's a cold place. Eh? I know it's wrong to break the rules, but even so, I want to know what's going on outside the village. Sometimes I go exploring by myself while everyone's too busy to notice. I can understand your feelings. Curiosity towards the outside world is a very fascinating thing. Is that right? Do you and Oni-san also like exploring?
Oh, we're One-chan. I forgot. I switched to female. Do we like exploring or do we hate exploring? This is actually a choice. I hate it.
Is that so? I'm surprised. I thought that Senpai was the really naughty type. No, sorry. Even so, I think you're a fine explorer now, Senpai. After going through so many dangerous missions. I see. Even though you dislike living on the go, you keep on doing it. You really are strong. So, about this cold place. Yeah, I only went by once. It's away from the forest a bit. It's dark and cold. Somehow it feels really spooky. I wouldn't be surprised if there were monsters living there.
Oh, a clue to the location of the creature's nest. That's very useful information. Well done on the recon. This'll allow us to catch up to Koyanskaya. You damned vixen. I finally got you by the tail.
It's best to take action early, but what shall we do about Akuta Hinako? You know she's still observing us, right? If you move out, she might see this as a great chance to attack.
Wasting time in a standoff is a poor plan. Right now, any lead in the pursuit of Koyanskaya will do. Before the night ends, we should sneak out onto their noses in the opposite direction of Akuta's camp. Of course, guards should be left behind in case the shadow border needs defense. Even if this cuts our strength, investigating the sources of these magical beasts is worth it. Yosh, it's decided then. So we gotta decide who's going to stay behind and who's going on the attack, though.
Holmes, you're going with the investigation team. A detective staying behind would be wasted, no?
There are those detectives who just lays back in the armchair, but regardless, this time an on-site investigation is necessary. Very well. I shall embark on the investigation of the nest. My wound should be about healed, too. The frontline command shall be entrusted to Mr. Gura. After all, if you leave it up to my discretion, I'm fully capable of being so absorbed in solving a puzzle that I dive into a waterfall. Mash says that she will also be coming along with us. Da Vinci asks us to pick out the other servants that'll come with us. We can tell Spartacus to come, or we can say, hope you'll help us out, Jinkei.
That's fine. I might not look it, but I'm pretty good at finding things.
But you will still need the strength to crush what you find, will you not? Then allow me to accompany you too. I can crush any and all oppression.
Then I and Mordred will stay behind. Acknowledged.
If you want, maybe just Nezha and I should go and smash that, whatchamacallit, cryptor? Please, just control your recklessness and stick to protecting the shadow border, okay? I know, it was just a joke. What a spoil sport. Awesome! Sitting on Spartacus's shoulders is just like flying in the sky.
Even the same scenery can look very different when you change your perspective of it. You may be able to see that which you would not before. You will notice the beauty and kindness that was once overlooked, and see the ugliness and evil that you failed to spot. That is what growth is.
That's a bit hard to understand. Your feelings in wanting to see what lies outside the village are right. I'm sure that this is what Spartacus-san is talking about. Is that right?
That is right, little rebel.
I wish I could be as tall as Spartacus.
Then you should train your body, too. When I was young, my height was not much different from yours.
I can do it too? I can be like Spartacus?
You can. Anyone can be Spartacus. Life is itself none other than rebellion against adversity.
I was worried about letting a child lead us, but Spartacus seems to look after kids quite well. Yes, since he let him ride on his shoulders, he's keeping up with an adult's pace. Then again, if our pace is too fast, it'll be harsh on Gouda. Don't push yourself, okay? If you find yourself out of breath, you can cling on to my back.
I'll do my best.
Do you see the cultivated land ahead of us? Is it a neighboring village?
Well, we could take a shortcut through it. If we get caught, we'd be in big trouble, so we should avoid it. Hey, what's this?
Yes, the wind is carrying the scent of blood.
Ah, it's natural if you think about it. Right now, this boy is leading us to the monster's nest. Of course, there's going to be something up. If there's a village on the way, then it cannot be safe.
Boy, hide yourself here and wait. We will be right back.
Yeah, be careful, okay? These seem to be remnants. This state. Everything has been destroyed.
Be careful. I smell it. This really stinks. This is the stench of those fiends who prey upon the weak.
Indeed, they're still near. Of course, they must have picked up on our scent, too. Here they come. A fair number of them.
I cannot let them go. If left alone, they will further raid other villages in search of their next prey.
Let's do this. Master, your orders.
Hi, Pludius.
Annihilation of enemy confirmed. The battle is over. These seem to be remnants. This state. It's all been destroyed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read the wrong line. My bad, chat.
She said, was it selfish to get revenge for the villagers?
It seems that we've detected something, Detective.
Master, how did you feel? I feel like they seem to have been working pretty well together.
Yes. Somehow, even though they were the same species we fought in the Russian Lostbelt, their movements were clearly different. Even though individually they seemed weaker, they compensated for it with greater cunning.
Their weakening may be due to the environment. To be accustomed to extreme cold, this place is surely the same as a tropical rainforest. In spite of that, they had a strange leadership. They weren't wild like a pack of wolves. It was as though they had been trained.
Then that means that they are pets with a master.
It may be too soon to be certain about that.
Is it TV Koyonskaya's work?
Even if it is so, questions still remain. When did she train them?
If we continue to advance, the mystery will clear itself up. Luckily, they left tracks behind.
Yeah, it seems we're not going in the wrong direction.
I shall bring the boy along. Let us meet up outside of the village. This sight, it is not something that a young child should see.
So Spartacus-san was a gentle person, huh? That heroic spirit regards it as his duty to thoroughly protect those who he sees as targets of his protection. To that end, for the sake of protecting, he will not hesitate to make whatever sacrifice necessary. Those extremes in behavior are truly befitting of a berserker. It's just up ahead. Just a little further, there's a big hole in the ground that you can enter.
I see. Is it a cave?
Inside, it's dark and wet and cold. I got scared, so I only went in a little bit and then I left immediately. I heard a really big noise, so I think the inside is going to be really big. Indeed. This place is likely a base for monsters who prefer a colder climate. It's certainly suspicious. No, rather than suspicious, it's the most likely choice.
It seems we're surrounded. My emotions are overflowing.
I'm sorry, I let my guard down.
It was inevitable that Mr. Gouda would be careless. Before Ms. Kyrie-Light returned to the front lines, she served reliably as an excellent navigator after all.
Well, that's... everyone, aren't you scared? Well, any bunch who couldn't joke around with just this level of trouble would have had their journey end a long time ago.
We won the battle.
No difficulties.
But it's very strange. The Kritchat and the Giants were supposed to have different bases.
The ones that destroyed the village were the Kritchat, but following the tracks led us to these Jotun. So, what exactly is within that cave?
What's this? We can just figure the answer out once we get inside. There's no point in dilly-dallying.
However, if we go any further, won't we put this boy in danger?
It would also be dangerous for him to return alone. there may yet be beasts still hiding within these woods, and we don't know where they are.
Then who should stay behind to protect him? No, if you do that, then there will be one less person to fight against these things. That's dangerous. Take me with you. I'm sure it'll be the safest right beside Oni-chan. I suppose that is logical.
Oh, boy, you have embraced adversity at this moment. This is your rebellion against the oppression of fear. Let us go together. I, Spartacus, shall be your guide and your shield. I shall sing you a song of victory.
Yes, that is who we, heroic spirits, are after all. We shall do our best to answer your brave call. Ah, the answer seems to have been made clear quite quickly. Look here. These are giants' footprints, and here are Krachat droppings.
They're living together in this cave.
Definitely. I'd like to laugh it off, but we've already glimpsed this strange phenomenon. The instincts of these wild beasts have been overwritten. Also, they can share turf with a completely different species.
Training the fierce animals. They're training these fierce beasts that pruned human history. How tasteless.
Now then, one question yet remains. What purpose does this serve?
There might not be any reason in particular. I have heard that the alter ego Koyanskaya brought harm to innocent civilians in each Lostbelt just for self-satisfaction. This may just be another one of those games. Setting man-eating beasts loose on a peaceful farming village with no means to defend themselves. They've noticed us. It's time to engage. They're tougher than they look. Another wave is coming in.
We originally came here to wipe them out in the first place, so this is fine.
I leave protection of the boy to you, Spartacus.
Ah, no problem.
And another battle.
They retreat. I don't like this. Something is up.
Yes, it's a strange way to fight in the first place. They aren't just sharing territory, but they're also clearly cooperating to fight as a team.
It seems this confirms it. There is a commander present.
Does that mean TV Koyanskaya's at the back of the cave?
I wouldn't hope for that much, but we will at least meet the one who called for their retreat.
Which means if we beat it, any further damage to the surrounding areas can be prevented.
You do not mind if we advance, do you, my little rebel?
Yeah, Spartacus will definitely protect me, right?
Of course. As long as you are resisting against your own fears, I am invincible.
Orthanal's sensors have picked up a large mana reading ahead.
Is this the Diavoltron that's also here?
No, this is far stronger. What's more, if the numbers aren't wrong, there are two of them.
So, we're finally at the boss then.
Their St. Graph patterns are definitely that of magical beasts. They're similar to the past data that we have of the Diavoltron and the Fire Giant. However, the quantity of magical energy they possess is abnormal. For some reason, it seems to be increasing.
Wait, do you hear anything?
My heart is shaking.
The ones from earlier. Did they go back for supplies?
Ms. Kyrielite, early Orthenaus only detected 2 monsters, correct?
Yes, and there are still no changes.
Then where did those beasts from earlier go?
Ugh, it really stinks here. These are...
Ah, they ate their comrades.
So the Diavoltron ate the Kritchat, and the Fire Giant did it to the others.
Cannibalism isn't a phenomenon unheard of in the natural world, but at least in Russia and Scandinavia, they were not an occurrence seen frequently. Furthermore, if that's the reason for this increase in magical energy detected by Ms. Kyrielite, then they are no longer mere carnivores. They possess the trait of soul eaters.
Then, the beasts who just managed to escape from us and retreat to the back.
It would seem to be in order to strengthen those 2 bodies for this decisive battle. Did the large ones order it, or did the individuals all volunteer? Monk ass.
It looks like they finished their meal. It looks like they finished their meal. I guess they'll be hoping for us as dessert next.
This killing intent. It's like the magical beast from Uruk.
Yes, I feel the same way. Those magical beasts have a hatred towards humanity. Although we don't know what that means, we don't have time to ask those questions right now. Your orders, Master. We have to destroy those Lostbelt species here.
This fight, I recall, was hard. That fight was a difficult fight. It was not an easy one.
Enemy. Silenced. There should be no more enemies here. The case is closed, it would seem.
No, unfortunately, we could not manage to catch Koyanskaya's tail. I had thought that the strange behaviors of the beasts were due to her training them.
These comrades in beasthood couldn't have begun oppressing each other, could they?
That's right. I thought we'd just be having a showdown here with TV Koyanskaya, who was controlling these magical beasts.
But Koyanskaya was the one who transported these magical beasts from the other Lostbelts, right? In the absence of other suspects, let us first work with that presumption. However, why would she let these beasts loose afterwards?
Eh? What do you mean?
Look at the amount of bones left lying around here. It seems that the cannibalism isn't something that just began today or yesterday. Ordering their servants to hunt and then taking the magical energy accumulated in those servants for their own nourishment. This way of life is close to that of a dead apostle. Fundamentally, wild animals will not have such a twisted way of survival. However, these beasts had no choice but to do so. They were pressured to do so to survive after being completely removed from a climate to which they were adapted.
But the Jotun and the Kritchat don't have the ability to convert food to magic energy.
It's an environmental shock that's caused by the adaptation. or that's causing the adaptation. Koyanskaya may also have had a hand in strengthening them like this. If that is the case, then a question yet remains. Even though this method was adopted, why were they abandoned without continuing the rearing? She is an entirely unfathomable woman. She must be up to something. If we had managed to arrive at the motives, it would be QED. However, the clues ended here. One would have to wonder if she was moving around the Lostbelt with a different expectation in mind from the cryptors. But it is a difficult problem which cannot be solved by... well, thinking along a single thread.
Boy. Are you alright?
Yeah, I was only watching, though. Spartacus and Anachan and the others, all of you are really strong. I was so scared that I couldn't make a noise. Sorry for not being able to do anything.
Holding your ground and seeing things through is also an act of bravery. Boy, you are strong. Strong enough to not feel ashamed.
Thank you.
Boy.
Jinkei-san, what are you doing? This thing, it seems to be holding some good booze. I don't have a hobby of just dissecting monsters, but if there's liquor to be had, that's a different matter. Is this the one?
A secretory gland. If it's placed in preservation and brought back, it can be turned into something drinkable after Da Vinci processes it. Neutralizing the poison was something done with quite some difficulty in Russia. However, there was a servant who appreciated this back then. To be honest, I don't really understand it myself. To be able to retain one's appetite after seeing something like that.
Regardless of its original form, the taste of the wine of victory is unparalleled to a warrior, Sir Detective.
It looks like we can bring this back to the village as a souvenir. Though we can't say that Senpai and I can partake of it.
Alright, let's go back. Section 4 complete! Yay! So chat, what do you think? Did Koyanskaya train all of those animals to try and make a super animal? A super beast? Or mayhaps it's just a coinky-dink. How old is the master canonically? At this point in time, at least 18. Alright. Section 5. Brave Lady of the White Shaft. The Peerless Warrior. The legal age for drinking is 20? Ah, man. Something like that. Alright, Jinkei here is reciting lines from Drinking Alone Under the Moon, a poem by the Chinese poet Li Bai. I've translated this as best I possibly could, and it's probably gonna be hot garbage. Are you ready, chat? Here it comes.
From a pot of wine among the flowers, I drank alone. There was no one with me. Till raising my cup, I asked the bright moon to bring me my shadow and make us three. Ah, you really have a nice voice, Missy. Mei-san, you've got a real nice voice. Just now, what do those lines mean? If you were drinking alone amongst the blooming flowers, then you should enjoy it together in the company of three. with the moon in your shadow. Don't you sometimes have the feeling of savoring some wine while looking at the moon all alone in the quiet? During such times, don't you think that the wine has an exceptional taste to it? I've never had wine before, but I like the moon, it's pretty.
It's mysterious. I don't understand. I don't know how to explain it. Do you always drink in a flower garden like that in the bright night of the moon?
Not quite. I think the one drinking alone was Li Bai. Well, I have also tried it at times.
So that Li Bai-san was gazing at the moon alone, right? So you weren't with him? Were you peeking on him?
No. Of course Li Bai was alone. However, he was in a flower garden under the moonlight, and he could drink and know how he felt. This is called poetry.
Did you hear this from Li Bai-san?
No, I've never met Li Bai. After he wrote it, many others recorded it, and it finally reached me.
Record? You mean write?
Right. These are words. If you use these symbols, then you can envision the experience and feelings of a person you've never met from a distant age, as though it had happened to yourself. That's so cool! I want to try it out too! Alright. There are many kinds of characters. It's impossible to memorize all of them in one go, but it's easy if you learn little by little.
That's a lie, chat. It's not easy. Don't try to learn kanji. It's so hard.
For starters, perhaps we can go with father and mother. Father? Mother? What's that? Does this child not have parents?
Parents? What? You're saying some difficult things. Do you mean whose stomach you were born in? You can only count on yourself for how long you were born. I don't know about counting from when you get pregnant.
No, I don't think anyone remembers that. Then who takes care of the children?
Well, anyone who's free will just teach them. Like how to tend to the fields or gratitude towards the Son of Heaven. Also, when the time comes, how to make kids.
I see. So those are the customs here. All right, then I shall teach you. Light and earth, things that you always see. All of these have a character to express them.
Jing Kei teaches them how to read Chinese. Ah, how shameful. This world has been stripped of language and the wings of song. A perfectly crafted prison to enslave them. This is oppression. It is none other than the extreme oppression of knowledge. I can't help but to embrace them with my love. How carefree you servants are. Having excessive empathy for the locals is akin to strangling your own neck. This is a Lostbelt. We are here to defeat the Cryptor and cut down the fantasy tree. There is no choice but to close off this world's future, returning it back to its original state as a pruned phenomenon. In the event that happens, we might as well not show them any kindness in the first place. If they're just going to trap us in a guilty conscience. Well, it would be best to treat it as an unimportant and simple encounter. I don't have such a simple mental state. I want you to know that there's a limit to how much stress I can shoulder.
That is wrong. You who act like an impressor yet lack the experience of one. Oh? Leaving the subjugated chained whilst crushing the desired enemy. That is no different from being an oppressor. These people deserve to have freedom.
Spartacus-san.
Fangs for battle, the hope for the future. Grasping these things for the first time allows for competition. Indeed, I am Guda's servant. I fight to bring victory to the pan-human history of Guda's faction. There is nothing to cloud my judgment. But then, I can say this as one who acknowledges the pride of humans. It is not for us to advance and decide the pan-human history should be the survivor. Are you seriously saying that? So this is what a berserker is, huh? This is that madness enhancement.
Well, don't mind him too much. This guy, he's just had a weird switch turned on ever since he's seen the people here to be lacking in courage. He's more talkative than usual, but everything's the same. It's a logic that's completed only in his head. There's no way to understand it, or to change it. That's what a berserker is.
People must seek and advance to a far better future. Master Guda, you who have yet to become an oppressor. Carefully observe this world and ascertain how the people are. We or them, who is more fitting to inherit the foundation of humanity? Like how we resist collapse, they too must bear their fangs to resist fate. Justice is only born from the clash between resistance and resistance.
So you think we should give way to them?
That is something to be determined in the upcoming battle. The conclusion will decide when I shall take up the sword of rebellion. However, if there really is true dignity of the humans of this Lostbelt, I will prostrate myself to this land of China. When that happens, I cannot allow the souls of the people here to remain under the yoke of the oppressors. They will become the inheritors of the prayers and hope of the pan-human history. Poems, we must share our sentiments. That is why I ask that you do not rebuke Jinkei's actions.
Well, I don't have any intention on agreeing fully with Mr. Spartacus, but if it's to get a favorable response from the local residents, there's nothing better than that. To Miss Jinkei, it's hard for her to overlook the illiteracy and forced labor roles for the people under Shi Huangdi's role. Why not allow her to do as she wants until she feels better? I see. Jinkei is much better looking with a smile on.
Oh, foe! A heroic spirit appearing to be under madness enhancement. Such an arrogant tongue. Spartacus, the gladiator of indomitable spirit that I once looked up to. Well, that aside. 2 days have already passed, but the poison treatment can still be done, right?
Alright. God, I love this theme. This theme reminds me of something, but I can't quite pinpoint it. But it's great. Great background music. Alright. Stranger Things? Yeah, kinda. Kinda. I've actually not seen very much Stranger Things. I saw like the first episode, but then never really followed up on it. I'm bad at following up on things. But I do recall the opening for Stranger Things. It is kind of similar to this. System Shock? Yeah, actually. That might be what I was thinking of. Huh. Alright, let's continue. Sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. Sidetracked by the banger playing right now.
While I am unworthy, at my discretion, 2 great heroes from Lishan have been chosen.
It is your justice.
First of all, is the great general of Sichuan. Qin Liang Yu has been brought over.
To once again serve as your Majesty's spear and shield. I am grateful for this honor.
Look, chat, it's Chun-Li. I'm sorry, my voice wasn't high-pitched enough for her. She has a higher-pitched voice than that.
To once again serve as your Majesty's spear and shield. I am grateful for this honor.
Your valiant form when you handled the Bojo rebellion. It is still fresh within my memory. There is no other suitable candidate for a defending battle than you.
Yes, I am grateful to hear such words. Crossing over thousands of years to awaken once more in your Majesty's imperial reign. This is truly the earnest desire of the garrison.
Good, good. I have praised you highly because I need you to work hard. Currently, the Qin Empire is facing an unprecedented crisis. Drive out these dark clouds of heaven and earth with your spear.
Yes, sir!
Now then, this will be our tactician. After much contemplation, I have decided that it was for our best to have your Majesty's longest and most loyal senior retainer.
Yes. Han Xin, your childhood confidant, once again at your Majesty's service.
Oh, the peerless warrior Han Xin. There are numerous brave warriors kept in Lishan, but there are few who know me before I attained this iron sacred body. You are truly the witness to much of Qin's military service.
To have called me that means that once more there's a war to fight, yes? Tactics, correct? So where are we invading? A desert? The sea? Or perhaps will we be invading the moon?
No, no. The invasions are all done. Your commands were the deciding factor to the victory over the Azteca Republic in the Arctic. Our last nemesis, the Habsburg Empire, also yielded under economical sanctions. The world now sees a long-continuing perpetuation of peace.
No, global tranquility. Such a grand outcome is fine. But even so, there will be a disorder in the world. That's like dust. If that's piling up, then cleaning will be necessary.
I entrust this with you. I entrust this with you this time as well. Endeavor to your heart's content.
By the way, how are we doing with our technology? Are there any new weapons in the arsenal?
The elite Imperial Guard remains. That and the land garrison are what's left, as many soldiers have retired. The automata are now the core of the Qin army.
Puppet soldiers? What mechanical foot soldiers? No need for rest, no need for morals. A quick maintenance and they're back to battle. Oh, the aspects of the battlefield have changed once more. New strategy, new tactics. This storm of ideas is making me giddy.
Anshin, I have high regards for your rather disgusting character and military genius. Go forth and freely color the battlefield with your wisdom.
Ah, gratefully and happily. Oh, there were varied rumors of a rare genius of the electric generation, as expected of the distinguished and honored great general Han Shindono.
He is reliable. With this, the defense of Qin is rock solid.
Are they for real?
Ooh. Chat. Chat. Are you ready for things to ramp up? Ramp up? Hand-holding is the lewdest act of all. It's true, chat. Very true. I'm glad that you understand the life and times of this world. Now then, on to Section 6. The Demon General descends. All right.
There's another rocket coming. It's the same as the first one. It's heading for our coordinates.
So it's not a resupply for Okuta Hinako.
Yes. It looks like it's like with Okuta Hinako and the Prince of Lanling. Maybe they're just roughly transporting some troops.
This civilization has developed automatons as a force, so it's no question that something strange will appear. However, this Lostbelt's movements have been peculiar from the beginning.
What do you mean?
Whether it was with Kadok or Ophelia, when deploying their own servant, they would wait for a proper chance. Usually, the others would aim for a time when we were already spent from battling other enemies, correct? But Okuta, on the other hand, came straight for us as the vanguard. Now, why is that? They don't have anything else to fight with? Yes, that is the first possibility that comes to mind. After all, this is a peaceful world where the concept of war has been stripped away. It may be possible that the ruler of this Lostbelt does not possess the military force necessary to contend with servants.
A most convincing conjecture. A standing army to hole into your pockets, after all. There's no need to continue maintaining it when there isn't even a hypothetical enemy nation around.
That would be very convenient for us. This would be the tamest Lostbelt to face so far. If the situation doesn't warrant such optimism, then the next to come will be what Okuta has been waiting for. A direct attack from Shan Yang. The battle from now on will clarify the strength of this world.
The rocket's about to land. Be careful. We really don't need to wait for it to land. The enemy's riding on that thing, right? Then we should make the first strike. Let's do it, Master. Yaraze, Master.
Alright. Noble Phantasm, release!
Kore koso wa waga chichi o horeboshi. Jakken! Krarin to Brarasa! Alright! I turned it into scraps with one blow. Not yet. The mana reading hasn't disappeared. Something's coming out of the wreckage.
Measuring heat levels. Release of convergent magical energy in judging. Threat level low. Visual confirmation of enemy target.
Is that a man? Or is it a horse? Anyway, it's not human. But what is with these readings? It's not a servant, and the mana patterns are closer to that of an automata, but the output is orders of magnitude different. It rivals that of a dragon class, of a giant magical beast.
Da Vinci, is what you're saying true? It's an automata type. You're saying it's not a living being, but a machine.
I'm even doubting my own eyes. If that's a machine, then this parameter is abnormal.
Don't be shaken. It's just that it's not normal, correct?
Different from living things, the output of machines changes with their movements. There aren't any idiots who would go full throttle right out of the garage, are there? Do not be taken in by the current measurements of its parameters. It's just warming up.
But to have such mana coefficients during warm-up...
It roared? Could you measure the wave that was just released?
Yes. Although we have faced enemies who possess such vast magical energy before, one able to output such magical energy while being at that size is unprecedented. Retreat! Retreat! Oh no, we won't make it! Everyone, hang in there and search for a way out. If you fight it head on, you'll be blown away.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's up for a real fight, too.
It's strong.
Oh, such oppression. Being unable to embrace it. What should I do?
Spartacus, don't be rash. If you charge out, you'll get cut down.
I see. I now see your potential.
Yudakun, another servant is approaching. This is Akata Hinako's Prince of Lanling.
This is bad. If they gain reinforcements in this situation...
Zhang Yu, Dono. Why did you sally forth alone? Zhang Yu. By Zhang Yu, does it mean him?
First of all, calculations come above all else. That is my only proficiency. However, I have obtained sufficient numbers from this confrontation. The War Council can finally begin. Now then, let us return to camp. From now on, I shall calculate our army's complete victory.
Yes, I shall escort you there. The enemy is retreated, but this is...
Oh.
It's as if we were just let go. It seems for our enemy it was just like a mere warm-up.
Warm-up? Stop kidding me! That thing was strong enough to overwhelm servants. Just what the hell is it?
If you're asking that, then did it even bother hiding its true name?
Zhang Yu. That was the one who contended for supremacy with Liu Bang, the founder of the Han Dynasty. The King of Chu, Zhang Yu.
Are you alright, Zhang Yu-sama?
There are no problems. Although I have been in combat operations for around 2.48 million hours, my frame continues to function with no problems.
I do wish that I could have finished this without having you take up the sword once more.
The Emperor has decreed. Even though this is not my original function, this frame has been specialized for combat operations. Thus, I act only to destroy the enemies of Qin.
Yes, with your arrival, our victory is now unshakable.
Those from far away. Chaldea. They are visitors from the same world as yours.
Enemies. Invaders who would threaten this land, which has been brought under the peace of Qin. They are certainly irreconcilable foes.
I see. Indeed, hearing the name of Zhang Yu caused their expressions to be shaken. Although your words were a dreamlike story, it seems that they are truth. This is a history in which I was called Zhang Yu.
Yes, because history changed its course. Your existence was granted the name Zhang Yu. As a human, your story was passed down through the generations.
I, as a human, how could such a strange thing happen? No matter how many times I hear it, these are profoundly mysterious circumstances.
You have sent that large of a ripple shuddering through China's history. That is, if His Majesty had lived out his predestined mortality and met his demise.
Yet set such meaningless talk aside. Attempting to imagine such hypotheticals is itself rather unappealing.
My utmost apologies, my liege.
Well, how is it, returning to the battlefield after so long?
The path to victory through my calculations has been made clear. There will be no problems in leaving to me the finer details regarding the defeat of Chaldea.
However, just to be sure, Qin Liang Yu has been awakened from Li Shan and now leads an army towards your position. As victory is assured once you rendezvous with her, deliver to the enemy the coup de grace.
Please wait, Your Majesty. Tardiness is foolish in war. As long as Zhang Yu-sama is here, our victory is immovable. Chaldea can be swept away immediately.
Do not make me laugh, Akuta. One who has lost in battle not once but twice has no place to speak of tactics here.
Yes. Forgive me for speaking out of turn.
It is fine. Until Qin Liang Yu arrives, do not move. Until then, you merely need to stand by and monitor Chaldea carefully, lest they flee with their tails tucked between their legs. As you wish.
Now then, Holmes. Although it was just a story of the results, do you got something?
So, about the enemy automata we recovered from the previous battle. With Neja's assistance, I've determined that they are similar to her.
Yes, they were indeed similar to me. But just a bit disappointing in workmanship. No, quite disappointing. Pale imitations of my interior in terms of construction. Quite degraded. This is far from Tiayi Zhenren's technique. A lotus spirit of the immortal sage, Taiyi Zhenren. Zhenren. This means that it's not technology that we know of, but a technique based off of the way of Zhan, right? Well, without using treasured pearls from the Zhan realm, and instead making use of commonplace materials as replacement, to be able to move this far is already amazing. Probably.
Well then, the problem is that centaur-type enemy called Zhang Yu. I have examined the video recordings from the battle.
Ah, yes. Compared to the puppets from the wreckage, the basic structure is more similar to me. Even though I haven't seen the internal structure, I am certain. If it was me, I would move this way. Such a habit is quite similar. Even though its exterior is entirely different. That is now. His extra hands were probably added later. Every bit of his techniques retained remnants of when he was still a humanoid. If he was made in that form from the start, there would be other, more efficient ways to move.
I see. An insight unique to a warrior.
Imitating. Holmes. This is just a deduction, though. First, create a humanoid that imitates myself. It is assumed that countless modifications turned it into a different form, which is that individual called Zhang Yu. Then, further simplifying the structure, thereby weakening it, we get the remnant puppets over there. This much is certain.
The body of Prince Nezha is a relic of the Zhan arts from the Shang dynasty. It would have been a lost over technology in the era of Qin. However, it would also explain the abnormal technology found in this lost belt. However, sorry. If by some means Shi Huangdi discovered and analyzed it, the development of science and technology afterwards would have taken an entirely different path from that of the pan-human history. That's what he said. I read the wrong line.
And that's why it's not... And that's why it wouldn't be that strange if Shi Huangdi managed to become unaging and undying. It would also explain the abnormal technology found in this Lostbelt.
This isn't the time to be impressed. Anyway, what should we do about them?
It seems that there's no additional movements. They've been continuously monitoring us from about 2 kilometers away. It's as if they're waiting for something.
Quite the unsettling silence. For the time being, Master should take Mordred and the others and stand by. Mr. Gouda.
Using the secret art so nonchalantly is unforgivable. Next time, I'll show them my true fire-pronged spear. That monster. I wonder what's up with him.
He was really tremendously strong.
Yeah, but it wasn't just blind strength. Strength itself can be a double-edged sword. Skill and speed can be used as trickery to make gaps to be exploited. But that thing... How do I say it?
His eyes were cold, far removed from the craze of the battlefield. Truly the eyes of an oppressor, definitely unforgivable.
That's right. Those eyes were terrifyingly alert.
It's like he had calculated and could see through all the cards that we had in hand. Where and how we'd attack, how we'd dodge. There was an eeriness as if it could predict each and every one of our moves. It was no longer in the realm of martial arts. Another strange thing was that the Prince of Lanling called him Zhang Yu. It's not that strange. If the first emperor is alive, then Zhang Yu, who is from the same era, could just as easily be alive as well. Isn't that so? No, it's not about whether or not he's alive. He's not human. The fact that Zhang Yu is serving as a soldier is strange. Well, I only understood this after becoming a servant, but wasn't Zhang Yu a rebel who brought about destruction to the Qin dynasty? Afterwards, he competed with Liu Bang for control of the world. Or so I heard. Well, even if it was his destiny to become a soldier, would he really be the sort to serve obediently in Qin? More reinforcements are coming this way. They're not traveling by rocket as expected, but by vehicle. More reinforcements from Zhanyang. Oh, sorry. I accidentally clicked it. Yeah, they're also running straight on the ground. It's not an automata reinforcement that they won't care about being broken. This time, humans are being led by armed weapons. It's a historical army. Could it be Akuta-san is waiting to join with that unit? Probably. Just be careful. I guess it was their true intention to set a lineup that can surely win. On top of that, just be careful. On top of that, if we're overwhelmed by numbers, we'll have no chance. This is quite the dilemma. Even if we were to run this entire place is flat plains. It'd be tough to hide. If there's nowhere to run, then we have no choice but to fight here.
What are you all saying all of a sudden, you idiot? Are you trying to come up with a battle plan without me? Even though you know well the strength of that monster Zhang Yu. It would be too foolish to fight. We may have to retreat from this Lostbelt. No. If that happens, my life is in danger. If we don't make a stand... but that Zhang Yu robot is so scary. What's that thing even? A living storm? God, I love that. I love calling something a living storm. I love calling something a living storm. It's so cool.
The man calling himself the commander seems to be rather shaken. Battling them now is reckless and foolish, but if we wait until their reinforcements arrive, what awaits is only despair. Here we must once more challenge the storm. At the very least, there may be a chance to whittle down their battle strength. If that's what the calm Jin Kei says, then there will be at least a slight chance of victory. Understood. Let's fight. However, Gouda-san I'm gonna be monitoring your vitals closely. You didn't come to China just to burn out in a blaze of glory, and you must be careful. What? We just have to make a quick attack and settle things before Gouda whines and gives up, right?
Regardless, wasting time here will just cut off our path to survival once reinforcements catch up. Then we must rebel at lightning speed!
Understood. Let's do our best, Master.
Foe!
What's that? An enemy attack! Yes, Koldia's master and his servants are rapidly charging towards us while shouting. I couldn't have hoped for better. Oh, after all, His Majesty didn't go so far as to tell us not to fight back.
Is this all right? Our hand should stick to defense until reinforcements arrive.
No. Swiftly dismiss the enemy. If we use your military prowess, victory is assured. Zhang Yu-sama.
I understand. I shall do my utmost.
I shall accompany you, my liege. It is an undeniable honor to be able to line up with such a legendary hero. This time, we will wipe Koldia and their master out. We will erase all remnants of them ever stepping foot into this China.
Battle!
This is bad. Enemy reinforcements are arriving.
We couldn't make it in time.
Stop there, both sides. Lower your spears.
Eh?
What? Just one more step and they would have... Refrain, Akata Hinako. This is an imperial edict.
Chun-Li here to lay down the law, and if you don't like it, she'll crush you between her thighs. Chat, I don't know if I like her laying down the law. Yes, it's the thigh crusher for me.
What is the meaning of this, Your Majesty? Wasn't Qinlang Yu supposed to be reinforcements?
Indeed. She did go as reinforcements. Akata or Koldia. She would help whichever side was losing.
That's... You're still showing Koldia mercy at this time?
By the way, Chad, I didn't point it out earlier, but I really like that Koyanskaya's opening in her China dress is fox-shaped. It's a fox design. Also, just how perky she seems to be.
In certain areas.
So, you're still showing Koldia mercy at this time. Even though I've submitted to Your Majesty time and again that they are foreign barbarians who threaten the Qin Empire.
Barbarians, you say? I believe this has been said before. In my eyes, both you and Koldia are both barbarians. Each and every one of you are enraged in a struggle that has nothing to do with Qin whatsoever. It just so happens that you've made my land the stage for your petty quarrel. Thus, at this moment, I shall ascertain friend from foe. I shall judge whether you are the ones who would benefit my Qin Empire, or leeches who are of no use whatsoever. Your positions shall be determined.
Of course. Akata-chan and I have both served Your Majesty properly, have we not? We came to save the Qin Empire from its crisis, after all.
In the first place, what is this crisis threatening the Qin Empire? The ones from Koldia who are wandering lost as if drunk. Are they an invading threat to the city of Zhanyang? Answer, Han Xin.
No. I'm afraid that is not so. The true crisis currently besets the outside world that has been isolated from us by the impenetrable storm. In other words, every place on Earth where Your Majesty's grace cannot reach.
Then what is the urgent matter that I need to deal with?
That would be none other than the investigation of the situation outside of the storm. Not as hearsay from our esteemed guest, but through a report from soldiers sent by your majesty.
Good, good. A precise answer after my own thoughts. You are truly a model vassal. Now then, how can I send our troops outside of this storm?
It is not something that we can hope for from those who have independently manifested in our world. I think that ability, which allows an invasion from a foreign world, should only work on their own physical flesh.
Then, what about those who appeared as a party?
Caldia seems to have crossed the border using an inexplicable vehicle. In other words, with that vehicle, the mysterious storm can be broken through. Setting whatever principles it uses aside, as long as we can grasp how to use it, that vehicle can become the means by which we can dispatch the Qin army to the outside. This guy, he's perceptive. To think he could understand all the major and minor details.
That is how it is, and that is how it is. From the beginning, compared to you, Caldia has had an overwhelmingly superior trump card with which to use negotiations with. If you wanted to negotiate, you should have prepared a better offering than Caldia. Taiyun Skapon.
It's Koyanskaya! Mo, could your majesty be doing this on purpose?
Of course I am. That is my compassion. For calling you by your true name would cause you discomfort. Or should I dispense with the consideration and call you Daji, Vixen? Aw shit, he knows. He knows, chat.
Pardon my rudeness.
Me, with just his bare hands.
You have underestimated far too much my computing ability, as well as the Imperial Bodyguard's kung fu.
She must have looked down on this China too, thinking it was not much different from the era with which she arbitrarily trampled as she wished.
Now then, it is time to negotiate anew. Soldiers of Caldia, can you hear me?
What's this voice?
It's coming from Ash's shield. The voice of the Emperor is something that reaches all the people of the land. It is only natural that I should be heard wherever the rays of the sun fall. Well, I'm actually only firing a focused magnetic beam at the girl's shield to vibrate it. Anything hard would have done, but it would be unpleasant to directly vibrate your skull, would it not?
The Emperor's voice. Could it be?
We are prepared to hand over custody of Koyas whatever, whom you are seeking.
Koyanskaya?
Yes, that one. However, in return, you shall permit me to investigate and analyze in detail the mechanical contraption that you are riding on. Should you agree to these conditions, I assure you that you will be accorded the treatment of state guests. Under my protection, there is nothing that will threaten your safety.
Your Majesty, why are you doing this?
Akata Hinako. Had you at least demonstrated that you planned on capturing that vehicle without damaging it, I would not have disregarded you. However, you have made a declaration that you would erase all traces of them ever stepping foot into this China. Was it? You fought with the intent to destroy that shadow border, did you not? Know that that is not my will. Well, that aside, since you still have other uses, you will get different treatment from that vixen. I will not punish you just for the reasons of not following my will. However, if you say that you insist on a thorough fight to the end against Caldia, the point of the White Spear shall be directed your way.
If my lord orders it, I will show no mercy. Be prepared. Master, what do you wish to do? Here, we will exercise restraint, though I resent to.
Now then, both sides should have cooled their heads by now. Caldia, let me hear your answer. Ah, but sound can't be picked up as clearly as video. Should you want to compose words to me, just look straight up and speak loudly. As we are now, there's no choice but to hope this poor situation will lead to other options. Even if this gives rise to a new problem. The capture of Koyanskaya and acquisition of the antidote should be our top priority. Of course, we will have to leave the final decision to Mr. Gouda.
Eh? Not with me.
You're the ace up our sleeve. And besides, the owner of that voice is talking to Gouda-kun. He's definitely the type who would bring the blade down while smiling if anyone else tries to answer in his stead.
We will accept your terms. Good, good. An answer that knows your own station. There will be no problems then. Now then, before we get to the details, there's something to confirm. Do you know who I am? You're Caesar, right? Caesar? Ah, the brat who tried to fish in troubled waters while I was invading Egypt. Do not confuse me for that mere dictator. I am the first and final emperor, the ruler of the Qin Empire which occupies this entire planet.
Ah, this is a history where Qin fought against Rome and Egypt.
First, I sent technical officers there with Qin Long Yu. Allow them to enter the shadow border with their equipment.
I won't be happy if you break something when messing with it, you know.
All of the work of our technical officers will be performed under supervision of Caldia's technicians. However, I will persist until I get convincing analytical results. I would hope to expect a reciprocation of sincerity. Now then, are there any other questions? Where are you talking to us from? Da Vinci wonders if we didn't hear that terrible remark just now about a focused magnetic irradiation. Well, of course. If you look above you, then everything will be made clear.
Looking right above.
Umu, the Great Wall.
Great Wall? You mean the 10,000 Li Great Wall?
10,000? Ah, you mean the one that repulsed the Zhongnu. Which age are you talking about? The Great Wall was on the Earth when the Earth still had foreigners to Qin, a long time past. Now there are no more external enemies, then? Indeed. In other words, this entire planet is Qin. Therefore, the next barbarians to threaten us would be those from space. But it would be too late to sound the alert once they arrive. So in this way, the defenses have been strengthened ahead of time. Even with my Qin's prided construction techniques, it was a great work requiring 300 years. Accordingly, it is no longer 10,000 li long. To be more precise, it should be called the 134,420 li Great Wall. But that name is too long and inconvenient to say, so it's shortened to just Great Wall.
Just where should I remark on this?
Developing outer space before the 18th century. It's as unlikely as Gandhi launching a nuclear strike.
Civ references. The Emperor says that although he's had time to think about Qin's next threat being aliens from outer space, he didn't predict the oddity that was happening right now. The impenetrable storm surrounding his territory. Although the Great Wall orbiting the Earth is far above the clouds, only the portion above China's airspace is functional. My Majesty, which spans the whole world, has been cut off by that impudent little storm. The world is once more enveloped in the darkness of chaos. And this will not stand. Without my commandments, the masses will once more devolve into a world of chaos and violence. The peace and harmony Qin has brought to the entire Earth is something that I must regain once more.
So that is why he wants the shadow border.
He says yes, but it's not the only vehicle that he desires. He wants to produce in mass quantities vehicles that have better capabilities as troop transports. And for that reason, the Emperor requires a schematic, and that is why he has requested to be allowed to analyze the shadow border. I require a means to pass through the storm which cannot be affected by any and all physical means. It should be done by entering imaginary number space. Am I wrong?
I'm surprised. You got it at first glance.
Although the theory can be predicted, the principles to put it into practice remain unknown. Therefore, I wish to know about that vehicle's internal structure. Of course, if the real thing can actually be disassembled to the last screw, that would be best, but that would trouble you, no? Thus, as a point of compromise, it is fine for you to provide only the data. Thus is my compassion. But the world outside the storm is... I scoff at the ridiculous tale that Akata and the Vixen have spun about lost belts and pruned phenomenons. Should you merely repeat what they have said, my mood will slightly sour, you know.
Gudakun, for now you should hold your tongue regarding this matter.
The Emperor says that he has already heard stories of the outside from the visitors, but with the true circumstances being muddied. He is determined that he needs to see the outside of the storm for himself. Holmes asks if the Emperor has spotted the presence of any large tree in his territory around the time the storm appeared. What a strange question. You speak as if it is natural for such a thing to appear. Akata, are you still hiding something from me? Well, whatever. The Emperor brushes it off quickly, saying that he knows that Akata is hiding many secrets, mostly regarding her confrontation with Caldia. However, he's only interested in Qin's peace as well as regaining his lost territory. The wars of outsiders are none of his concern, as long as they do not become an obstacle to him. He says, though, he will give us the courtesy of answering Holmes's question. And he reveals that as far as he knows, there is no such tree. It would not have escaped his notice, for he monitors every part of China. Da Vinci asked the Emperor a question. Does he not mind negotiating with us directly? And what do you mean by this?
Someone in a position of power like your majesty would normally, well, put on more airs during a negotiation. Right? It should be the case that a representative would be sent as an intermediary, and your majesty would not have a dialogue with us directly. Not meeting someone of lower status directly, and drawing the inviolable line to clearly display the difference in status. Shouldn't it be that way?
Why are you saying that now? I see. In your world, there are only rulers who will let slip their shoddiness should they reveal their countenances. But does the sun shine away from the eyes of the masses? Does the moon hide away its form? I am very much the son of heaven, the one who reigns over all peoples, comparable to the celestial heavens. Therefore, I permit an audience with the people. Just as the sun shines down on the land without distinction, so are the masses bestowed the glory of gazing upon me without exception. Should the sun be unchanged from the masses in form, however, there may be a need to put forth a difference.
Then, would you mind allowing us to see your face?
Again, why are you saying that now? You have already been peeking at my countenance, have you not?
Eh?
Well, your vision must be obstructed by the horizon. There, haven't you been using that mechanical bird to look over here? You have already seen me countless times.
No, we have only observed Zhanyang via remote viewing, though.
What? You have been looking at me without knowing that it was me. That is actually a bit impolite. Though it is not impossible that you did not know, you may humble yourself from now on.
Wait a minute. Could it be that floating above Zhanyang is...
Yes, that is the one. In other words, that is I. Casting away the mortal flesh doomed to wither, the result of replacing all of my authority with machines was this sacred frame. Hereafter, as with my country's land, expansion upon expansion has been undertaken for 2,200 years, and now I cannot even set foot on the earth. However, my majesty can be understood with just a single glance at this form, and for the people, this is the fastest way for them to comprehend. Indeed, I am the first and final emperor, the absolute and immortal ruler who pacifies the heavens and the earth for all eternity. I am Shi Huangdi. Oh, that's so cool, chat. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. So, a couple things to point out at the end of that. The name that he called Tamamo, or Tomovich, I should say, was, there's kind of two different ways that you can say it. It can be translated to both Daji, which is the one that I did, and it can also be translated to Daki. But the thing is that the reason I did Daji is because it is more accurate for Chinese. For those of you that don't know, we'll give a quick little backstory lesson for that. Daji was a consort of King Zhou of the Shang, the last king of the Shang dynasty in ancient China. And she was a malevolent fox spirit who was incredibly powerful and considered extremely dangerous to people, which is why he would call Tomovich that, as she is being depicted as she is a fox spirit. So hey, there you go, chat. Big thumbs up. And with that, I believe we will leave off at that cliffhanger, at that big revelation of Shi Huangdi's true body being that massive form that we saw before. What will come of it? How can we possibly fight against someone that omnipotent and powerful? And the way that they have portrayed this Chinese emperor has been very interesting. He's been extremely... what's the word I'm looking for? Extremely forgiving, extremely open to us, and has made every attempt at being cordial towards us as well. He's been a very fair person. Now then, chat. We will end off here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys for more wonderful story reading next time. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you next time.